My heart raced as I stared at the email that changed everything. Dear Mia, we regret to inform you that your contract has been terminated effective immediately. It felt like a punch to the gut. I had always put my best foot forward, pouring hours into coding sprints and team meetings. What had I done wrong? I sat in my cramped apartment in Silicon Valley, the soft hum of my computer filling the silence. The city outside buzzed with innovation, while I felt like an outcast in a digital wasteland. But there was something off, an unsettling feeling in the pit of my stomach. Although I was terminated, my access to the company's dashboard remained intact. I hesitated, a myriad of questions swirling in my mind. Why would they keep me in? What was I about to uncover? The thrill of curiosity ignited a spark within me. This can't be good, I murmured, logging into the dashboard. The familiar interface loaded, but today it felt like a cryptic puzzle waiting to be solved. Little did I know how deep the rabbit hole went. I scrolled through layers of reports and metrics when I stumbled upon something strange: hidden messages tucked away like secrets under a rock. My fingers trembled over the keyboard as I clicked on an encrypted thread. What is this? I whispered, my mind racing. Mia. It was Tom, my colleague, his brow furrowed with concern. You okay? I heard about your contract. I'm fine, but I need to show you something, I replied, urgency lacing my voice. As I relayed my findings, Tom's skepticism danced across his features. You can't be serious. If they find out you're poking around after being let go. Or maybe, I interjected, adrenaline coursing through me. This is our chance to unveil what they're hiding. The stakes are high, he cautioned, though a glimmer of respect flickered in his eyes. But I'll help you. Just know, if Mr. Harris finds out. I shivered at the thought of the enigmatic CEO. He'd always been a shadowy figure, rarely seen but unfailingly aware. We have to act fast. Whatever's going on, it might be worse than we imagined. Before we continue with this surprising revelation, a quick alert for you who follow our stories. YouTube has been removing subscriptions lately, so check if you're still subscribed and leave your like to support the channel. Now, back to the crucial moment. I stared at the screen, a mix of worry and determination bubbling within me as I realized that uncovering the truth could jeopardize not just my career, but the stability of the entire tech community. What secrets lay hidden behind that digital wall, and who would be left standing when the dust settled? As I scrolled down, my instincts screamed that we were just scratching the surface. But what would we find next? The glow from my monitor cast shadows on my face as I dove deeper into the dashboard. Every hidden message I uncovered felt like a key to something far more significant than I could have imagined. Mia, are you sure about this? Tom's voice broke through my concentration, knotting my stomach with his skepticism. Yes, listen, I insisted, scrolling further down. This thread mentions something about a data integrity audit. We've never had one of those. They're hiding something, Tom. He peered over my shoulder, his eyes widening as he read the messages on the screen. Your termination, they think you might expose them. The room suddenly felt too small, each tick of the clock echoing the mounting tension between us. If what's in these messages is true, it's not just about me, I urged, my heart pounding. This could affect everyone who's ever trusted this company. Okay, Tom conceded slowly, running a hand through his hair. But we need proof. We can't go after the CEO without something solid. I leaned back, my mind racing. What if we dig into the analytics from the past few months? There's sure to be evidence of something off. As our plan took shape, I could feel a sense of camaraderie between us, a bond forged in the fires of uncertainty. Mia, we've got to be careful, he warned, his brow furrowed. If Mr. Harris catches wind of this, I cut him off. We won't let that happen. I'm tired of hiding. There's a much bigger picture here. But as resolve surged through me, a nagging voice whispered warnings of the vast unknown that awaited us. Just as we were gathering momentum, a chilling thought struck me. What were we really getting ourselves into? We spent the next few hours carefully combing through charts and metrics, heart rates competing with the ticking clock. As I unearthed more concealed reports, an unsettling pattern began to emerge. one that suggested not only negligence but potential malpractice. My pulse quickened. This isn't just corporate greed, Tom. They're playing with people's lives. In that moment, every doubt I ever had about my worth in tech melted away. I was more than a software engineer. I was on the brink of unveiling a truth that could shatter the illusion of safety within our industry. Suddenly, a notification pinged a pop-up alert on the dashboard that shook me to my core. Tom, look at this. I pointed at the screen, my heart racing. It was a schedule for a company-wide meeting later that day, and there was no doubt in my mind it was about to get complicated. The stakes now felt perilously high. We had a short window to moderate our next move, and for the first time, fear of Mr. Harris didn't seem insurmountable. We need to be prepared, I whispered, a whirlwind of adrenaline and determination surging through me. The truth was now within our grasp, but were we truly ready for what we might uncover? Would exposing what lay beneath empower us or consume us whole? As the countdown to the meeting loomed ever closer, one question echoed: would we be the ones standing when the dust settled? Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. My heart raced as the screen flickered with those chilling details. Just when I thought I'd seen the worst, the threads I unraveled spun a web of deceit that threatened to ensnare everyone in its grip. Tom, they're planning to roll out some software that could cover these tracks if they execute it tonight, I exclaimed, my voice barely above a whisper. Tonight, he echoed, disbelief etched across his features. That's insane. We have to stop them, or at least warn someone, I replied, a mix of desperation and determination washing over me. But who could we trust when the air practically crackled with corporate betrayal? It was a gamble, but staying silent felt like throwing away our chance for justice. What if we contact the press? Tom suggested, cautiously weighing the options. Expose their plans before they even launch. Not yet, I breathed, feeling the tension in the pit of my stomach. We need undeniable proof, first, something that would force their hand. My fingers danced over the keyboard as I scrolled through document after document, each one more incriminating than the last. Look here, this memo references a clandestine operation to beta test the software. They're risking everything. Tom, this could be our leverage. I watched as Tom processed the information, his brows knit together in contemplation. If we can just get this data to the right people. No, we can't do this alone. His eyes narrowed as he concluded, we need allies. Right, I nodded, adrenaline pushing me forward. But who? And how do we convince them to join our cause? Just then, as we plotted our next steps, a sinking realization dawned on me. Mr. Harris can't find out we're onto him. If he does, ... My voice trailed off, fear creeping in. The weight of our intentions hung heavy in the air, and I couldn't shake the feeling that our window of opportunity was closing fast. Let's scope out the meeting and see what we can overhear, Tom finally said, his resolve shifting into action. If they're discussing the software launch, we'll have the proof we need. The breath I held released only a fraction of my anxiety. As we prepared to infiltrate the meeting, the stakes had never been higher. The unknown loomed like a shadow, and the clock ticked menacingly in the background. Would we emerge with the evidence that could shatter Mr. Harris's empire, or would we become entangled in the very game we sought to dismantle? Our hearts pounding, we positioned ourselves outside the meeting room, ready to eavesdrop. Stay with us, because what we uncover next might change everything. The air was electric as Tom and I positioned ourselves just outside the glass conference room, our nerves crackling with anticipation. The hum of voices swirled within as I adjusted my stance, trying to make sense of my accelerating heartbeat against the impending danger. I glanced at Tom, and I could see he was just as jittery. Are you ready? He whispered, the edge of urgency in his voice. Ready as I'll ever be, I replied, taking a deep breath. I had come too far to turn back now. The door creaked slightly, and we both strained to listen more intently. Mr. Harris's voice, smooth and authoritative, broke through the chatter. The launch needs to appear flawless. Do whatever it takes to keep our data under wraps. We cannot afford any leaks. Every word was a dagger to my gut. The extent of this cover-up was beyond my wildest imagination. And what price were they willing to pay to maintain this facade? The stakes were not just corporate, they were personal, affecting lives beyond our understanding. Did you hear that? I whispered to Tom, my heart pounding louder than my thoughts. They're planning to manipulate data right before a major release. We have to document everything. Tom nodded, his focus unwavering. Let's record what we can while they discuss their game plan. If we can get the proof, we can go to the authorities. The minutes felt like hours as the tension thickened. Every laugh and hushed tone only heightened our anxiety. I struggled to contain my emotions. The anger at being kicked to the curb while they plotted such wrongdoing ignited a fire within me. I was not just a discarded employee, but a potential whistleblower on the brink of exposing so much more. Suddenly, the conversation took a turn. There's been chatter about compliance auditors coming in next month. A voice piped up, dripping with concern. If we don't keep a tight lid on things, we could be in serious trouble. Let them come, Mr. Harris retorted with a cold confidence. If they knew the real game, they'd back off. We're ahead of the curve. The audacity of his words sent a shiver down my spine. This wasn't just misguided ambition. It was a blatant disregard for ethics that had been ingrained in me since I first touched a line of code. Another voice joined the fray, one I recognized as Sarah from HR. But if they find discrepancies in our numbers, we could face lawsuits. You know how much the public values authenticity nowadays. The backlash could jeopardize our reputation. Then we'll create a facade, he interrupted. We'll do what we need to protect our interests. No one is willing to sacrifice profits in this industry, least of all us. Tom's hand tightened on my shoulder, grounding both of us in this shared moment of realization. We were witnessing the dismantling of morals to boost profits. My instinct screamed at me to act, but it would take more than just a single voice to combat such a monstrous system. We're almost there, Tom breathed, his eyes glued on the door. Just a few more details and we can formulate a plan. Let's blend in. We need to stay unnoticed, I whispered back, trying to shake off the creeping fear. But the pressure mounted, and a question spiraled through my mind. If we were successful, what would become of us? As the discussion unfolded, I mentally recorded key phrases and reeled at the implications. If the truth about the illegal maneuvers made it to the press, it wouldn't just shake the company foundation. It could ripple through the entire tech industry. The implications were staggering, and my chest tightened at the thought of holding this revelation. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Let's finalize the software enhancements before the launch, Mr. Harris commanded, his tone leaving no room for dissent. We'll bury any discrepancies in the wave of positive feedback. We're here to make a statement, not to bow to regulatory pressures. I felt a surge of indignation, and in that instant, I knew I had to stand up for what was right. We can't let them get away with this, I breathed, my voice a mere whisper. Tom shifted closer, concern etched on his face. What do you mean? Maybe we can reach out to an old contact of mine in the media, I suggested, my mind racing with possibilities. If we can provide them with evidence, they'll be forced to look into this. We can unleash the truth. He hesitated, uncertainty shadowing his eyes. What if they trace it back to us? We'll have to be smart about it, I replied, urgency infiltrating my voice. If we act now, they won't know we're onto them. We have to do something. With the plans for deception laid out before us, we needed to act. I fished my phone out of my pocket, feeling a slight tremor in my hands. I started a new message. I'll talk to Jamie tonight. If anyone can get the ball rolling, it's him. Okay, Tom nodded, although the apprehension never left his gaze. But we'll need to strategize. We can't throw ourselves into this blind. The room fell silent, as if sensing our presence. We held our breath, unsure of what would happen next. Would Mr. Harris sense the looming coup? Time to go, I urged quietly, wary of the uneasy stillness. We'll regroup at my place. I'll lay out everything I have. As we hurried away, an electrifying rush filled me. Suddenly, the mission became clearer. We were not just fighting for our jobs. We were standing at the precipice of something much larger, an opportunity to reclaim integrity in the tech world. With the enormity of our task looming ahead, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. But with that purpose came uncertainty. How deep did this rabbit hole go? Would we unravel a giant conspiracy or ignite a battle we couldn't win? Let's just say, the moment we reveal our findings, everything will change. Prepare for the unexpected, because our next move could determine not just our future but the fates of countless others in this digital landscape. What lies ahead may very well shake this industry to its core. Stick around to see if we have what it takes to uncover the truth when the dust settles. I sat there, heart racing, as I relayed everything I had gathered to Tom later that evening. The tension in my small apartment thrummed with possibility. "We've got the evidence, Tom," I said, my voice steadying as I pieced together the mountain of information on my screen. "This is bigger than just us now. We can't let Mr. Harris win." Tom rubbed his temples, a blend of worry and excitement crossing his face. "But how do we present this? If we go to the press without a plan, we'll be risking everything. They could label us as disgruntled employees seeking revenge." "True," I nodded, tapping a finger on the edge of my laptop. "But what if we put together a comprehensive report? We can present it as a whistleblower's tip. All the dates, the conversations, the coded messages. They can't ignore hard evidence." Tom's eyes sparkled with newfound determination. "And if we back it up with our identities hidden, there's safety in shadows," I replied, a thrill coursing through me. "But we'll have to tread carefully. Once we make this move, there's no turning back." Just then, a notification popped up on my laptop, Mr. Harris himself, requesting a company-wide meeting first thing in the morning. "This is it," I mumbled, adrenaline heightening. "They're gearing up to launch their deceit, just as we've discovered the truth." "We've got to move fast," Tom said, urgency lining his voice. "If they learn we're onto them, they'll cover their tracks." "Then we can't hesitate," I replied, a firm resolve settling in my core. "Let's compile what we have tonight. We'll send the report anonymously before the meeting." As we worked side by side, every click of the keyboard felt like a step toward justice. Fear lingered in the corners of my mind, but so did hope, a glimmer that this singular act of defiance could protect not just our careers, but countless others who believed in the transparency of technology. Hours later, we reviewed the final draft, a whirlwind of chaos morphing into clarity. "Are you ready?" Tom asked, uncertainty wavering in his voice. I looked him in the eyes, determination coursing through my veins. "Let's do this." After hitting send, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. We had become more than two employees fighting for validation. We were now advocates for countless others who had entrusted their hopes to this company. The morning arrived, marked with an electric tension as I entered the office. I could only hope our gamble would pay off as the meeting commenced, the atmosphere heavy with an unspoken dread. As Mr. Harris began his speech, I could sense the winds shifting. Would our revelations echo throughout the room, dismantling a fortress of corporate deceit? I glanced at Tom, both of us aware that there was no going back. Moments later, chaos erupted as my inbox dinged with notifications about the media coverage our report was generating. Each headline was a declaration we were no longer silent. With hearts pulsing with newfound empowerment, we stood as champions of truth against a world that thrived on deception. The journey hadn't just changed my life, it lit a fire that could ignite a movement. As Mr. Harris met the backlash head-on, I smiled, the knowledge that we kicked off something remarkable settling in. And now, if you felt inspired by our struggle, join our community. Subscribe to stay updated on the ongoing journey, because together, we'll expose more truths and reshape the tech landscape. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being part of this story.